I am your host, Zachary Smith. Join with me as always are my two good friends, Trevor Scott and Carrie Dempsey. How are we doing tonight, boys?
Excellent, man. I've been looking forward to this episode a lot. I took my hater pills this morning, and I'm ready to go.
I also took my hater pills this morning, along with some other pills. I take a lot of pills.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
Drink a lot of beer, take a lot of pills.
It's a beerly life.
Yeah.
I'm here to defend Justin Herbert with my heart, my soul.
All his heart, soul, strength, and
all my heart.
Good.
That's
how are you doing tonight, Zach?
Huh?
How are you doing, Zach? That's all that really matters.
I'm tired, man. But
what a rough life.
But I'm here to have a good time. Cheers, boys.
Cheers. Trevor.
What was that?
Why don't you start it out? What do you got tonight?
Yes, and both one of y'all will get it if both of y'all guess. It's a Trev Scott classic.
I know what it is.
Carrie?
Corona with lime.
Zach?
Yangling.
There's only one right answer, Carrie.
Wow.
It's a Yingling. Come
From
on, bud.
Philly, baby.
Disappointing.
What are you having, Carrie?
Spilled it all over myself.
I've been going crazy lately. I've been trying new beer.
No way!
I went to the store, picked up like the cheapest option I could find, and I was like, I'm going to try this. Went with a Goose Island IPA.
Oh.
It is coffee, grapefruit.
Yeah. Goose Island, that's a tough one, bud. That's a tough one.
Good luck.
Absolutely.
I'm also having some
interesting flavor.
Coconut cream rum in it, so.
Why not? Why not?
I have a new beer. I have a new beer never before seen on the podcast. Hold on, let me adjust my camera. There we go. That's a little better. All right. I'm having from Belhaven Brewery a Scottish ale. Look at that bad boy right there.
That's a nice hole.
It is very, very good. I'm trying to figure out where Belhaven Brewery is. It doesn't say.
Belhaven.
Probably Belhaven.
Yeah.
Ireland.
England. Shout out to Ireland.
Shout out to Ireland.
Oh, it's from Scotland.
Nah.
Hell yeah.
We don't care about Scottish people.
Very good. I recommend it to anyone that can get their hands on it. It's a very, very, very good beer. So, Carrie has a new beer. I have a new beer. Trevor's got an old classic but a goodie. This is already turning out to be an interesting show. I'm excited about tonight. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very excited. We're talking quarterbacks tonight. Talking top 10. Trevor, you said before we started the show that you thought you'd be disappointed with my list. Why?
Because I know either Carson Wentz or Kirk Cousins is on there.
Or Taylor Heineke like last year.
Nah, Heineke's not on there. Let me ask all this before we get into our list, before we get into our guests, stuff like that. What did you base your list on? Like fantasy, like stats, winning quarterback, like what is your formula? How'd you put your list together?
My brain.
But what went into that?
Everything.
What made you put one guy over the other?
My brain.
Talking about last year, talking about this coming year.
You just gotta take everything in consideration.
So
you gotta look at a lot of factors: wins, stats. Are they a leader?
Yeah.
Are they gonna improve this year? Everything.
So what I did was I looked at statistics, and then after statistics from last year, I also looked at their career, and obviously more heavily weighted toward the recent. But then I looked at the eye test. What I see that they do they impress me or not? And
you told me to look at the QBR at all.
I said stats first from last year.
Okay.
QBR always comes first, right, Zach? That's all that matters.
QBR. I fucking hate you guys. Oh gosh. Okay.
Here's a question. Kind of, it's QB related, but not to the top 10. Kind of news going on. Obviously, it doesn't look like Deshaun Watson's going to be playing this year. Who do you guys think is going to be the Week 1 starter for the Browns?
You think Baker will play for him or no?
I don't think there's any way he plays for him.
I would hate to see him play for them. after they screwed him over that bad.
I don't think
he's on the last year of his contract, right? Or has he got 2 more?
I think he's on the last year, but I don't know.
I'd actually like to see him play there. I think he could get it done, win him back. But then, like, when Watson came back, like, what are you going to do? But I still have faith in Baker. Like, I still like Baker. He played most of the year injured. Left shoulder injury when you're right-handed is terrible.
Yeah.
He couldn't throw to the left side of the field.
Yeah.
OBJ was frustrated, and then the media made it look worse than it really was.
Yeah. I have him ranked higher on my list than a lot of people just because he played last year with a bum shoulder. And I think that really dropped his stock a lot. And I think he was hurt a little too much by that. I saw a lot of people having him in the mid to back end of the 20s. And I was just like, he's better than that. He just had a bad shoulder all like 70% of last year. So
how long is the list you've made?
I have all 32.
Oh, okay.
He went hard.
I went hard in the paint.
I just did 10 today. I'm lazy.
I did 11. My 10 came down to 2 guys. But
it's really close.
He's not in my top 10 because of just we don't know if he's going to play. Yeah. He hasn't played however long. But he's a top 6, top 7 talent. But
everything from like 7 to 12 for me is pretty close.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot arguable.
Yeah.
And like a lot of guys that could jump next year too easily.
Yeah, easily.
I think right now my 1 to 4 is like a solid tier. My 5 and 6 is a tier 2. 7, 8, 9 is tier 3. And then there's like 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever.
Wait, Zach.
Yeah.
Because you did your full 32. Who are your bottom 2 QBs?
My bottom 2 QBs are Drew Lock and Sam Darnold. In that order. So Sam Darnold's the worst quarterback in the NFL. It's worst starter in the NFL.
You did 32 starters, not 32 like best QBs.
Yeah.
It kind of hurts me. Those are 2 of my guys.
Poor Darnold.
I know you're so upset because of Drew Lock, what he did to you in Madden all those years ago. But
I like Drew Lock. I just think he's got to prove himself. You know what I mean?
You think he's going to start, or you think they'll go Geno, or maybe get Baker or Jimmy G or something?
Baker
would be sick, but I hope Drew Lock gets a chance to start, so that he can jump up my list. I think he could be a good quarterback. I just think he hasn't gotten a really good shake.
Baker needs Carolina.
Why isn't it more of a thing him going to Seattle? Why did that die out in less than a week?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably because everyone found out Deshaun Watson was definitely not probably playing this year, so that probably killed it.
All right, so we got a guest come on in a couple minutes. We're going to talk about Jameis Winston, and it's the ultimate Jameis Winston fan right here. He's got him in his top 10 QBs heading into next season. Obviously, none of us have him there.
Yeah,
I put him around maybe.
And he's coming on to talk on to a Florida Gators fan and myself, and Zach, a Miami Hurricanes fan. So Godspeed.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I will say in his freshman year at Florida State, he looked incredible.
No, he was gassed, but their schedule sucked. That's all I'm going to say.
But also in his sophomore year, he looked much worse. He looked much worse his sophomore year. He's the reason I'm not a Tampa Bay fan anymore.
I think I remember that when they drafted him.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the tweet. Honestly, that'd be pretty cool. If I can find the tweet.
Where do you guys put him in your QB rankings? I'm gonna say I didn't do my full ones, but I'd say maybe 15 to 17 for me.
I only did my top 11 or 12 for this episode. He's probably the way he played last year, the absolute highest I would put him is 14. Probably anywhere from 14 to 18, without seeing him play yet. But
I think he does definitely have a chance to jump this year, especially with Michael Thomas back. They brought in Jarvis Landry too.
That great defense.
They did have one of the worst receiving corps in the NFL last year. So I don't think anything's too crazy. But Zach, where did you put him?
Jameis?
Yeah.
I have him all the way down the list at 25.
Yeah.
I think
Let's talk about it.
I think it's ridiculous to put someone who was they got rid of this guy for a reason, guy. I'm just gonna put that out. Tampa Bay got rid of him for a reason, and because he played 7 games decent, and he didn't play great in those 7 games. He did not play great in his 7 games. His highlight reel from last year is less than 7 minutes long. He did not play insanely well last season. He played okay, and now this guy that's coming on is going to claim that he's a top 10 quarterback for 7 games. 7 okay games. I think it's ridiculous.
So we're bringing on the number 1 Jameis fan, I think. Biggest Jameis fan I've ever seen.
Probably.
So we got author of Jameis's 1v1 coming on tonight. Jameis. How are you doing tonight?
How you doing? Can you fellas hear me?
Yeah, very good.
That's good.
How are you doing?
Real good, real good.
So let's start it off. We know you love Jameis. Let's hear why.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't consider myself a fan per se. I'm a guy that studied quarterbacks for decades.
Okay.
Jameis was just one of the guys that caught my attention. So I mean, I've been studying quarterbacks for decades, and I watched his first game. It was Florida State against Pittsburgh with my son, and it took about a quarter, to see, okay, well, this kid's legit. Let's follow him. Let's follow his career and see how it develops. So when you're looking at like the NBA, there's lots of phenoms, right? LeBron, Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, tons of phenoms. When you're talking about NFL quarterbacks, that's unheard of. There's really generally no phenoms. There's nobody that is, for example, the number 1 overall high school quarterback.
And they barely ever quarterback.
Right, exactly. They all flame out quick. Jameis is the only quarterback in the history of football that has been the number 1 overall quarterback in high school, won a Heisman, won a national title, was a number 1 overall pick in the NFL, made a Pro Bowl, and won a passing crown. That's never been done. The closest things to that is somebody like Peyton Manning, who was number 1 in high school, but he didn't win a Heisman or a national title in college, right? Mm-hmm. And then you've got Matt Stafford now, who was number 1 in high school, number 1 overall NFL pick, but he hasn't won a passing crown yet, and he also didn't win a national title or a Heisman in college. So Jameis is the closest thing that you have to an actual phenom at the quarterback position. And following him through, I mean, I didn't know right to start whether he'd flame out like most guys or not. And of course he didn't. They went undefeated. He won Heisman, won the national title, led a game-winning comeback drive and threw the game-winning touchdown pass on his 20th birthday, et cetera, et cetera. So I just found him fascinating as a player. And then as his career progressed, he's also fascinating off the field. And so when I wrote my book, it's 400 plus pages. It's backed by 850 plus citations. It's a monster of a book. A lot of people that don't even like Jameis, they enjoy the book because it compares all Super Bowl era Hall of Fame quarterbacks with each other. So even if you don't like Jameis, you can just read the book to compare, for example, Joe Montana and Terry Bradshaw, or Dan Fouts and Warren Moon, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it's loaded with a ton of data and statistics and things of that nature. But Jameis is just a fascinating character, both on and off the field.
Yeah, I think can't beat the E to W meme.
No, you can't beat that.
How long did it take you to write your book?
Well, I started compiling data. Like I have data on tons of quarterbacks right from like when they're in high school through college into the pros. And
right.
I just started compiling data on him. And after a while, I had so much that I was like, well, why not write a book on it? And, people have asked me, like, why'd you write the book on Jameis? And I said, well, I could have wrote it on Matt Stafford, too. Like, I'm a huge Stafford guy. I said the day that the trade went down when he went to L.A., I could see them winning the Super Bowl his first year there. I view Jameis and Matt very, very similarly. Following them high school and college and the pros, I view them as close to the same quarterback. And even, I think it's Jeff Duncan of The Athletic, he was talking about it, and he said that, the Saints could have made a play to try to land Stafford. They had no interest. They thought Jameis was Stafford with more upside. And that's also how I view Jameis, is Stafford with more upside. And so the reason that I decided to turn it into a book, because I have so much to add on so many quarterbacks, is that I view Jameis as the most slighted and slandered quarterback by the media in NFL history, without there even being a close second. So if Stafford was that, I probably would have wrote the book about Matt. But Matt basically was just ignored. And primarily because he's in Detroit, and also primarily because he's not that interesting of a character off the field. So he was he was just ignored by the media, whereas Jameis was flat out attacked by the media, and so it kind of made it a no-brainer for me to write the book.
Mm-hmm. Are you following anybody right now, currently in high school, college, anybody?
Yeah, anybody like Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence I followed from high school on. Justin Fields from high school on. Arch Manning, of course. I mean, I'm not the only one. A lot of guys are following him.
Yeah.
So I like to pick up quarterbacks as young as possible and then just kind of follow their careers. But, like one of you guys said, most of them flame out, and they flame out fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually.
You talked about him being like a phenom, and phenom's not really translating all the way to the NFL or even making it there. He's been a phenom in high school. He's even a great baseball player, too. He was a phenom in college, Heisman, national champion. Do you think we'll see him as a phenom in the NFL? And if so, when? Like, when will he be in that top tier of quarterbacks?
Well, I mean, if you look at 21-year-old quarterback seasons, Jameis has the greatest one by far. Like, it's not remotely close. If you just look at 21-year-old quarterbacks and their seasons and going all the way back, you can go back to the pre-Super Bowl era, and you can go to Fran Tarkenton, who was 21 in his rookie year. Nobody has had the 21-year-old quarterback season Jameis had. So he stepped off of Florida State, took over the worst franchise in the NFL, the losingest franchise in North American sports.
Easy.
And won Pepsi Rookie of the Year, made the Pro Bowl. To this day, he's the youngest Pro Bowl quarterback in NFL history. So I mean, he stepped off the college field and was immediately starring in the NFL. His second year, he led them to a playoff-worthy record. They only missed on a tiebreaker. And he became the first quarterback in the history of the NFL to start his career with back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons. His third year, he led the NFL in 300-yard games, even though he only got to play 11 full games because he suffered a nasty throwing shoulder injury. His fourth year, so I'm just going year by year. His fourth year, he's the only quarterback since he entered the NFL in 2015, other than Drew Brees, to finish top 5 in raw QBR on a losing team. QBR is one of those stats that's intricately tied to sort of team win percentage. So you almost never see a quarterback finish top 5, even top 7 or 8, if they're on a losing team. It just doesn't happen. The only two quarterbacks to do that since Jameis entered the NFL are Jameis and Drew Brees. And then, of course, 2019, the infamous 30 for 30, but people just kind of ignore the fact he was number 1 in the NFL in yards, number 2 in touchdowns, carried the number 4 scoring offense even though they had no run game. Became the first quarterback in the history of football to have back-to-back 450-yard, 4-touchdown games. He did that on a torn meniscus with a broken throwing hand and no Mike Evans. Or Chris Godwin. Brashard Perryman was his number 1 receiver in the second game. 2020, he watched Drew. And then last year, he had an elite season by all the advanced metrics. Elite. Like, I heard the comment, he had an okay season. We can go through it. He had an elite season last year.
Elite. Let me ask you that. As far as elite, my biggest thing with that, I've seen the stats that you brought up with the season being elite and him finishing in top of the charts and all these stats, but he threw for, taking out the game he was injured, just those first 6 games, threw for 185 yards per game. Is that? That's just not that's not super elite to me when I see that.
It's just great game manager numbers.
Right. Well, you're never. I defy anybody to find the quarterback who's elite in every statistical category. That'd be like saying, well, Tom Brady didn't have an elite season because look at his yards rushing per game. Or, Adrian Peterson didn't have an elite season when he led the NFL in rushing yards because he also led the NFL in fumbles. That's silly. You don't look at every single metric and find a guy who's elite in everything. That doesn't happen. Barry Sanders sucked as a pass receiver. Right?
So would you say he had an elite season last year or just elite in some aspects?
Well, no, I think when you're talking elite, you look at the most relevant comprehensive metrics, right? You don't look at just for example, with a running back, you don't only look at touchdowns if his yards per carry is 2.0.
Yeah.
Somebody like Mike Allstott or, somebody where they're just used as a goal line back. You don't say, well, they're elite because they had a lot of touchdowns, but they can't average 3 yards a carry. or even a receiver, you don't necessarily call a receiver elite just based on receptions if his yards per reception is super low. Even though Cole Beasley has an All-Pro to his name, nobody really considered him elite, right?
Yeah.
So when you're talking about quarterbacks, you look at the most relevant advanced metrics that are comprehensive. Things like total QBR, raw QBR, EPA per play, adjusted EPA per play. Jameis is like I would defy anybody to find a quarterback who was top 2 in EPA per play, top 2 in adjusted EPA per play, top 4 in total QBR, top 4 in raw QBR, top 1. He led the whole NFL in touchdown percentage, right? Top 7 in passer rating, top 3 in touchdown interception ratio, and say they're not elite.
So
Like that quarterback doesn't exist. Go throughout the history of football and try to find a quarterback who had finished the season with those metrics that people didn't think was elite. There isn't one.
So
what does elite mean to you? Like, what is the word? Because that's kind of, it's subjective for everybody. What is elite? Like, what would you say elite is to you?
I think top 10. I mean, if you just throw out a thing, like if you can say somebody's top 10, they're elite. Top 10 at their position. I mean, the 10 best quarterbacks in the world, I think that's elite. And if you want to get, of course you could put anything on that. You could say, you could use all sort of subjective, phraseology and things like that to determine what elite is. And so that's the same with like a goat and a boat debate, right? In order to do that, you should set strict parameters. Otherwise, you're just arguing ice cream flavors. You're just saying, well, chocolate's better than vanilla. And that's stupid. That's not a real debate. So if you set strict parameters, well, then you can weed out anybody. You can weed in anybody. But then you can actually have a good debate. But if you want to say top 10 is elite, I think you can easily make that case for Jameis. If you want to say top 5 is elite, and again, he's top 5 in like all the relevant metrics, that's elite.
So I think that the problem I have with calling him an elite quarterback or a top 10 quarterback is that the most passes he completed in a game last year was 19. The most passes he attempted was 35. And for a majority, and his average pass attempts is down below 30, and his average completions is below 15. So I don't understand how, when you're using him basically as a game manager, a guy that once you suck the defense in with Alvin Kamara and you do all these short plays and then throw it over the top with Jameis and you score a touchdown, I don't see how that makes him an elite quarterback. I see that as a good game manager, but not necessarily an elite quarterback.
Sure, that's fair. What I would say is then look at the other game managers and how come they don't rank close to Jameis and things like EPA per play. Why? Like there are quarterbacks that had a far better run game. Like you mentioned, Kamara. I love Kamara. His yards per carry was terrible last year. Like that was not a big threat. The defense was not scared of the run game in New Orleans. They just weren't. So I love Kamara. I think he's an elite running back. But when you look at his yards per carry, they're not elite. They're not even remotely close. So it wasn't that defenses were scared of the run game. Defenses are terrified of Philadelphia's run game. They're terrified of San Francisco's run game. They're terrified of Baltimore's run game. Yet Jalen Hurts, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Lamar Jackson didn't come close to Jameis in EPA per play. They didn't come close to Jameis in touchdown percentage. They didn't come close to him in total QBR. So if the argument is that, well, Jameis put up really good metrics because of, well, then how come these other guys didn't? And especially a guy like Lamar Jackson, who people do consider elite. He didn't come remotely close to Jameis. He has a way better run game. So he had better receivers too. That's another thing people are forgetting.
Very hard
is that, but that's another thing people are forgetting is that you're talking about Jameis. His number 1 receiver last year is his number 4 receiver this year. His number 2 is his number 5. His number 3 is his number 6. His 4 best receivers, they wouldn't have made Tampa's squad as their top 4. Tom Brady had Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Gronk. Jameis Winston had Marquez Callaway, Traquan Smith, Deontay Harris, and Adam Troutman. And Jameis bested Brady in EPA per play, adjusted EPA per play, touchdown percentage, red zone percentage. He bested him in touchdown interception ratio.
Now,
Go ahead, Zach.
So you're saying that people weren't scared of the run game, but it's clear that defenses were playing for the run. When you look at Alvin Kamara's stats last year, he played in only 13 games and attempted almost 50 more rushes than he had in any season in his entire career. So it's clear that New Orleans wanted to run the ball, and teams knew that, and so they came up and played close to the line of scrimmage, and that's what left passing lanes open for Winston. I think that if you can't say that defenses weren't looking to stop the run against New Orleans when Alvin Kamara took 240 carries. His most carries per season was when he played 15 games back in 2018. He attempted 194. So he's attempting way more carries per game with Winston behind center than Drew Brees. Now, I'm not saying that's super surprising. Sean Payton set up that offense for Drew Brees. But it's clear that New Orleans was trying to use the run game as a primary offensive weapon. Now, Kamara obviously didn't play a full 17 games last year. He only played 13. He only started 10. And he only ended up with 4 touchdowns, 898 yards. But I disagree with you that defenses weren't scared, because if they weren't scared of the run game against New Orleans, then New Orleans wouldn't have attempted 240 rushes.
And obviously, like, to have that little pass attempts through those 7 games, like, look at all these other QBs. Like, Brady's throwing 50 passes a game. All these top-notch QBs, 40 passes a game. Winston, we're getting 20, 30. Is it just, conservative play calling that they really just don't trust him enough to give him, 40 passes a game, especially after the 30, interception season? And obviously, he did have a terrible receiving core. I'll give you that one. And then this year's really going to be a big tell for him, with getting Michael Thomas, Landry.
Yeah.
I think this will really be his prove-it year to really, take that big step forward for him.
Let me say.
So you misunderstood me. You misunderstood me a little bit. What I said is they were not effective running the football. Just because they ran the football a lot, well, so what? I mean, a team can throw the football a lot too and not be effective at all. What I'm saying is when you look at their yards per carry as a team, especially when you take Jameis's own yards per carry out, Jameis was an elite scrambler last year. Even PFF would say that. Even going back to 2019, like people talk about Jameis can't scramble. He was third in the entire NFL back in 2019 when he was asked to put weight on by Arians to take a beating. He was third in the NFL in 2019, tied with Russell Wilson in yards per scramble for quarterbacks with 30-plus carries. So he's a very effective scrambler, and last year was his best year scrambling. So when you take those out, New Orleans' yards per carry was dreadful. So I'm not saying they didn't run the ball. I'm saying they weren't effective at doing it.
But I'm
Teams
saying
didn't necessarily need to fear it because they weren't effective at doing it.
I'm saying
they ran it.
I'm saying that Kamara wasn't effective running the ball because teams were playing New Orleans to run the ball.
Okay,
which they had to.
Don't you think everybody is playing Philly, Baltimore, and San Francisco to run the ball? Yet they run the ball like crazy, and the yards per carry are fantastic. What I'm saying is New Orleans was an ineffective running team. Sure, they tried to run the ball. They had a good defense, and they had a dreadful wide receiving core. Like, Sean Payton isn't Bruce Arians. He's not. I mean, Bruce is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I'm not trying to denigrate him, but he's not going to say, well, we're down to, what most teams would consider a 4, 5, and 6 receiver. Let's fling it all over the yard. Like, Bruce still did that even when they lost Evans and Godwin for the year in 2019. When Jameis had Rashad Perryman as his number 1, they were still slinging it all over the yard. Because that's just what Perryman
looked crazy those last few games. I was at some of those games.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jameis is a kingmaker. Like, even going back to college, you're talking about, Nick O'Leary busted in the NFL.
Oh, I hated that guy.
Out of the NFL quick, but Jameis got him drafted and made him look like a star in college. Rashad Green busted and was out of the NFL quick. Jameis made him look like a star in college. Kelvin Benjamin was out of the NFL quick. Jameis made him look like a star in college. Then he gets to the pros. Chris Godwin, nobody heard of him. And Chris Godwin to this day, and you can ask him off the record about him and Brady. Jameis gave him the best season he's ever had by far. 2019 is better than anything Brady's been able to do with Godwin in the last 2 years. Mike loves Jameis and swears by him. Jameis got Rashad Perryman paid. Jameis got Russell Shepard, who was a special teamer that they just converted to wide receiver because they were in injury troubles. He got him paid, his biggest contract. Jameis got Cam Brate and Adam Humphries, 2 undrafted rookie free agents, paid. Like, receivers swear by Jameis. That's why Jarvis Landry chose to be Jameis's wide receiver 3 rather than Lamar Jackson's wide receiver 1. And when you listen to Jarvis Landry talk about Jameis, he raves about him and says he came to New Orleans because of Jameis. Like, wide receivers love Jameis.
How many wide receivers. He has made a lot of wide receivers. I'll give him that. He throws a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns. His problem with doing that has kind of been turning the ball over, not just the interceptions, but the fumbles as well. Do you think this upcoming year, say he stays healthy, hopefully for the entire year, is this the year where he really cuts the turnovers down, interceptions and fumbles? Do you think?
Well, I mean, last year, for quarterbacks with at least 7 starts, he was 3rd in the entire NFL in touchdown interception ratio. So I wouldn't expect him to get better than that. I don't think anybody's touching Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers can probably play till he's 45. He's always going to be, number one in touchdown interception ratio. So I don't expect Jameis to ever touch Aaron, because Aaron flat out refuses to throw to high interception areas of the field. I mean, McCarthy talked about that. Aaron. I love Aaron. I think he's a quarterback god, but he plays for stats. Like, that's what he does. Jameis isn't like that. Jameis is like Phillip Rivers and Brett Favre. Like, he didn't care. He's trying to win the game, and that means throwing 50-50 balls because your team's getting outscored. He's going to do that. So, I mean, Jameis being third in the entire NFL in touchdown interception ratio last season, I don't think that's ever going to get better. This year,
as far as a full season, though.
Well, yeah, I still don't think he'll ever get better than third in the NFL in that stat.
And here's my question:
they've got much better receivers, so I expect them to air it out a lot more.
Obviously, Saints had one of the best, if not top, defenses last year. You think if let's say for some reason Saints had a bottom 5, bottom 10 defense, I think that TD interception ratio is still going to be as high if he was forced to throw a lot more.
You got to, if you come on a Beer League football thing, you got to do these weird hypotheticals. Carrie and Zach are going to give you like these crazy what ifs.
No, that I'm fine with that. That's a good question. And no, I would expect the interceptions to go up. I mean, a defense is a quarterback's best friend, just like a run game is.
Yeah.
And that was a big problem, in Tampa, is that they had both a defense that was getting shredded and making every opposing quarterback look like Prime Marino. I mean, Mitch Trubisky threw 6 touchdowns against the Bucs, right? And they had no run game. For 4 straight years, from 16 through 19, they had one of the worst run games in the entire NFL. So when you have that sort of situation and you're just basically the coach just puts the ball in your hand and says, "Sling us to shootout victories," you have to expect turnovers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like teams in the NBA that just play fast and jack threes. Like, they don't really care about their turnover numbers because they're scoring so much.
It's like that Houston Rockets team a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So I have a question about one game in particular last year, and that's the Carolina game. 11 for 22, 111 yards, 2 interceptions, rating of 26.9. What happened in that game that was different from the others? Because that game obviously really stands out.
Sam Darnold.
Sure. I mean, simple, two words: COVID game. That was the COVID game when the Saints were down 9 starters and 7 coaches. 7 of their coaches were not allowed to attend that game. 9 of their starters were not allowed to attend over COVID. Okay. And that's not counting, you're talking about like Michael Thomas and stuff who's already out, but they were down 9 starters and 7 coaches. And I mean, Jameis gets killed for that game, but watch that game. Jameis was their best offensive player. Alvin Kamara had 5 yards rushing on 8 carries. That was like a complete and utter total no-show, right? He got shut down. And I'm not blaming Alvin. He just got shut down. That's on the line. That's on everybody, right? But Jameis is the only guy that scored a touchdown for them, that team.
Yeah.
Sean didn't rip Jameis at the end of the game at all. None of his teammates did. I mean, Jameis was playing his heart out like he always does and doing what he does. So,
You think Saints were guaranteed playoffs last season if Jameis had played the full season?
Yeah, I mean, they basically, barely missed it anyways, right? And that's with Trevor Siemian playing 4 times, Ian Book starting a game and looking like, prime Nathan Peterman. And Taysom messing around back there.
Nathan Peterman.
I mean, Jameis, when he went down, he was on pace for a 12-5 season. Whether they finished with 12 or 11 wins, whatever. I think they definitely would have made the playoffs. Yeah.
Okay.
You said you have them in your top 10. I don't know if you have a list in front of you or anything, but who are some of the guys that are right behind him in your rankings? Maybe just a couple guys off the top of your head that come close, but you got Jameis over.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can give you the top 10 that I would have.
Okay.
And again, like a top 10, without strict parameters, it's hard to say. But so I would just say a top 10 without asking for strict parameters, and just like, for example, a lot of times when I'll do my list, I'll talk about if the quarterback had everyone around him just league average, including coaching staff. Right?
Yeah,
because
I love that.
Most people when they do a quarterback ranking, they're really talking about ranking the quarterback plus the roster plus the system plus the coaches. They're not actually talking about just the quarterback. And so that's what I always, when I looked at Matthew Stafford, that's what I always thought is just take him out of Detroit, which is a dumpster fire, and put him on any, even just average legitimate team, and he's going to look so much better. So, but as far as just moving forward and just looking at kind of how I think the 2022 metrics and stats will shake out, I would say that, I expect the 7 quarterbacks who last year, there was only 7 in the whole NFL, who last year finished both top 10 in adjusted EPA per play and total QBR. There's only 7 quarterbacks that finished top 10 in both of those stats. I would expect all of those 7 quarterbacks to stay top 10. And those guys are Aaron Rodgers, who finished first in both.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, who was fourth in one and second in the other. Jameis, who was second in one and fourth in the other. Mahomes, who was third in one and sixth in the other. Herbert, who was sixth in one and third in the other. Stafford, who was fifth in both. And Josh Allen, who was ninth in one, just made it, and seventh in the other. So those 7 guys, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Jameis Winston, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen, I expect them to still be top 10 this year. The 3 guys that I would add into that may or may not have been top 10 last year, I think Russell Wilson will be this year. I think he's got a much better complete roster. I don't think he necessarily has a better receiving core. Like, people think, oh, well, Russ didn't have anything to work with. Yes, he did. Russ had a dominant run game and 2 really good receivers, and he was just bad last year. That's just what it was. But this year, he also has a defense behind him. He also, I think, has a much better offensive line. So I expect Russ to be top 10 this year. I expect, the reigning AFC champion Joe Burrow to be top 10 this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was last year. Some people say he is. Some people say he isn't. I think he will be this year. And then the other guy I just can't leave out of the top 10 because he's the only other quarterback, the starting current quarterback with an MVP is Lamar Jackson. I expect him.
Absolutely.
So that would be my top 10 in no particular order. Rodgers, Brady, Winston, Mahomes, Herbert, Stafford, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, and Joe Burrow.
Okay.
And honestly, anybody other than those 10, I think it's kind of a joke. Like,
no Matt Stafford?
You're not. Oh, he's in there. I said Stafford.
Oh,
he's in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're not putting Derek Carr ahead of any of those 10 guys. You're just not. I've got stats, comparing just Jameis with Carr. It's not remotely close. It's not close. Carr he's not a chain mover. He's not a scorer. His touchdown percentage is abysmal. Like, no. You're not putting Kirk Cousins in there. You're not putting even Kyler. I love Kyler, but the year that he made top 100, I have a tweet about that. The year that Kyler was named top 100 and Jameis wasn't, Jameis bested him in like every metric in existence, like every single one, and I tweeted that out. And so, like, I love Kyler. I love watching him play. To me, I call him midget mayhem. It's fun. But no, I think the top 10 is pretty firmly established, and anybody that has, like, I think Chris Sims had Jameis at 26. Like, I know Chris knows me. That's idiotic. Like, it's just, I know Chris was a Tampa quarterback and Jameis has all the records and he didn't like that, blah blah blah. But that's just stupid. You can't look at a guy who is top 5 in basically all the relevant metrics and then say, oh, he's 20th. It's just ridiculous.
I think Zach and Carrie both have Derek Carr in their top 10. So
I do.
I do
not.
What I would say about Carr is if I would just say there's like a dark horse in each conference, I would say Derek Carr in the AFC simply because of the addition of Devontae Adams.
Yeah, he said Devontae now.
And even Chandler Jones. I think just having a better defense will help Derek. So he would be my dark horse to slip into that top 10 in the AFC. And then in the NFC, my dark horse would be Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has a loaded roster. Like, not a lot of people are talking about that. They're saying that this is sort of like a do or die season for him. He's got a loaded roster. That offensive line is great. That run game is completely elite. He's now got, A.J. Brown to go with Devontae Smith. Like, he's got everything he needs. Plus, he's a dual threat. So teams are literally going to be scared of the run game. And that's what I meant with New Orleans. Nobody was scared of the Saints run game.
Okay.
Yeah, they defended it. But teams are terrified of the Eagles run game.
Yeah.
As they should be, yeah.
Zach, I know you got one last question we always got for everybody.
Oh, I thought we were leaving that in the.
We can't leave that. No, we can't leave that. So I'm a fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Unfortunately, we did not have a good season last year for obvious reasons. But I asked this question to everybody that comes on the podcast this offseason. So, how many wins for the Jaguars this year?
I'll say 4. And honestly, I love Trevor Lawrence. Like, I love that kid. I've been following him since high school. I tweeted out, I consider Trevor Lawrence the greatest prospect ever,
Yeah.
ever, above anybody.
It's not
And
crazy to
like
say that.
I don't think that he's the raw talent that Josh Allen is. I think Josh Allen is the best raw talent in the game today. Um, Trevor, when I say greatest prospect, I'm just talking about pedigree and everything he did. Like there wasn't he doesn't have as strong of an arm as certain guys, but he's got definitely a strong enough arm. He's
Yeah.
not as athletic as say Lamar or Josh, but he's far more athletic than many elite quarterbacks. So
Yeah.
I think Trevor's a great prospect. I think Doug Peterson will be very good for him. I just, their complete roster worries me, and I think it'll be another long year. When I look at Trevor, I just feel like he's in that Jameis in Tampa situation where he was just drafted to the worst organization at the time, and he's being asked to be a savior, and that's just really tough. I mean, that's just really tough. And when you compare Jameis's rookie year and Trevor's, like, there's no comparison. Like, I love Trevor, but he sucked compared to Jameis.
Love you too.
Right. Trevor, I know you got one last thing.
Oh, first of all, I do want to say congratulations on writing, publishing a book, and everything. That's a huge deal. I know a lot of people, that's something they want to do in their life, but like never get it done. I've had where I wanted to write a book before, but that's huge. So props to you on that. And can you say it's the year of the beer for us here at Beerly Sports?
Sure, it's the year of the beer.
Awesome. Thank
And
you.
obviously, your book. Anything else you want to promote before you head out tonight?
Oh no, I mean just anybody that likes to debate. I love to debate. I love to talk sports. I DM with a lot of guys in the media, in and outside. And I even just like having life conversations with people. I'm an Orthodox Christian theologian in my real life, and I have a lot of great DMs, with people about like legitimate issues and stuff. So anybody that wants to look me up on Twitter, it's at Jameis 1 of 1, just the numbers 1 and then OF1, and shoot me a DM, just about anything. I enjoy chopping it up with people.
Well, thanks for coming on. Good luck to you and Jameis this season. This will be the year.
my pleasure. You guys have a great night.
All right, you too, man.
Yep.
All right. James, we spent a lot of talking about Jameis tonight.
What did you say?
I don't know. It's time to scream at each other about QBs. You ready?
Wait. First off, I didn't want to say this when he was on, because I like the guy. He seems like a nice guy. He's a Christian theologian in real life. So, and I'm a fan of Tim Tebow. But you know who beat Jameis in completion percentage, yards per game, and interception percentage last year?
Acorn.
Carson Wentz.
Dude, shut up, Zach. Holy shit, dude.
You look at Wentz's numbers through like those before those two last terrible games.
Yeah.
They were pretty close.
They're pretty good until those last two games.
Dude, if that guy started talking about Carson Wentz's like EYA or whatever, dude, that would have been so bad. Thank you for not bringing up Carson Wentz while he was on.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring Carson Wentz while he was on the pod, but yeah, let's talk about
how are we gonna do this? We're gonna count down.
Let's do top 5 first. Or no, do you want to do it one by one?
Should you do like 10?
Yeah, let's do it like 10 down, 10 to 1.
10 to 1?
Although I imagine our top 4s are very anticlimactic.
Yeah. All right.
How should we do it?
I said we each say 10, our 10, and then we yell at each other and scream.
Okay.
Okay, I want to give an honorable mention before we start out.
Can I give some honorable mentions as well?
Yeah,
Sure.
of course.
Okay.
A couple guys that missed out on my list was, we talked about Deshaun Watson, not putting him in our list, but he's obviously a top 10 talent at quarterback. Derek Carr was just edged out by my number 10, and then Kyler. I don't know. He's definitely
First half Kyler is the top 10 quarterback.
Huh?
First half Kyler is the top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, it's just I have a bad taste in my mouth about Kyler Murray right now. But he might be top 10, but he's an honorable mention.
He needs to
Deshaun
go play
Watson,
baseball.
Kyler Murray, Derek Carr.
He needs to go play baseball.
Follow us on Twitter at Beerly Baseball for Kyler Murray updates. But those are my honorable mentions. What about you, Zach?
I have 2 honorable mentions, mainly because These two guys severely disappointed me last year. They were both in my top 10 last year, and I was severely disappointed by both of them.
Lamar Jackson. Oh my
Number
God.
1 is Dak Prescott. I thought he would have a better year. And I was really disappointed. So Dak Prescott, I like I said before, I have all 32 out in front of me right now, and I have him at 12 because I was really disappointed by the way he played last season.
What disappointed you? I mean, we don't have to get into it right now, but like, what disappointed you?
He didn't win. He didn't win. If that makes sense.
Yeah. This year should be a big year for Dak, I think.
Yeah.
Without Amari Cooper, you know.
Yeah. I was really he just in times where he needed to play well in order to win the game, he didn't win. You know, he just didn't win. And
he's a good, not great quarterback.
Yeah.
It was bad. They missed the playoffs, right?
I think they because
they lost the first round.
Because he ran.
Yeah,
he ran the ball. He ran the ball, and then the clock ran out. Yeah, against.
So he didn't win enough, and he made the playoffs. So Justin Herbert should be what, like 14th on your list, 15th?
Oh dear, I'm ready.
And then the other one is Russell Wilson, because of how bad he played last year. It was bad. It was bad last year for Russell.
Gary, or was that your last honorable mention?
Why should I give it honorable mention? They're not top 10 quarterbacks. They're losers. Who cares about them?
Okay.
Come on, if they're not top 10, then the same category as Sam Darnold. Like,
technically, that's true. Not top 10.
I think like Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray. Some of my guys just missing, sadly.
Okay.
All right, so 10.
Who got at 10?
I got Derek Carr.
Jared Goff?
I have
Derek Carr.
Oh, Derek Carr.
I have Matthew Stafford. He just edged out Derek Carr for me. Similar talents. Stafford's got a bigger arm, and he also has a million more toys than Derek Carr does. But we'll see this year. Devontae Adams.
So he just won a Super Bowl, but he barely top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Precisely.
I don't hate that. That's not too far from where my...
And I will...
that team had to win a Super Bowl, bro. Come on.
Anybody 5 to like 10.
They almost won it with Jared Goff.
True.
They could have won a Super Bowl.
No Jared Goff slander tonight, please.
No, but like we all know where he's at on our list, and he could have won a Super Bowl.
True.
Oh, my list is about quarterbacks performing and that translating to winning. So winning football is how I have it. So Matt Stafford just edged out Derek Carr, but it's really hard to decipher between those two for me because...
Wait, why? Because one won the Super Bowl and one didn't. I thought you were talking about winning football, Trevor.
Yeah, but winning as a team is a team stat, not a quarterback stat.
Oh, okay.
The team wins the game, not the quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Their efforts towards winning it.
I think Carr this year with Devontae Adams, a healthy Waller, he's a chance to like really cement himself up higher.
Yeah.
And if Derek Carr played on that Rams team, like you really don't know. Like that Rams team didn't need it.
I could see Derek Carr moving up to like 6 to 8, somewhere in that range, with a really good year.
Yeah.
That's why I put him on my honorable mention. He won me over last year. I hated on him in the early.
He had no weapons too. That was the best part. Like he had Hunter Renfrow and half of Darren Waller's arm. Like got him playoffs all by himself.
Who is your 10, Zach?
People killing himself.
My 10 is Kirk Cousins at number 10. And let me just say this. Okay? 103.1 quarterback rating last year. 102.8 quarterback rating from Jameis Winston in 7 games. So
wait, what'd you say?
He had a higher quarterback rating than Jameis Winston last year, and a higher average yards per attempt. So, average yards per attempt.
And he had a higher rating than Justin Herbert, so there's no way he should be in the top 10. Yeah.
Shut up.
Cousins has a chance to prove himself this year too. He's got a new coach, new offensive system. This year could be big for him too. Finally,
he also he went 33-7, which is pretty good. So
I mean, he gets way too much hate. I'll give him that. He's definitely top 12 at worst.
Yeah, but I thought he just edged out Russell Wilson and Dak just because Dak didn't play like a winner last year, and Russell Wilson gave up on his team.
I think he's better than Dak easily.
Dak had 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 10 picks.
Okay, Kirk Cousins had 4,200 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions on 103.1 QBR with 66% completion percentage.
Cowboys also have
Dak's QBR was 104.2.
Cowboys also have a lot better line and a lot better defense.
That's true.
Okay, but we're talking about quarterback rating. Dak had a better quarterback rating.
Okay.
Are you talking about QB rating, little QBR nerd over here?
It's what we do here.
No.
Sadly.
That's the only reason you can squeeze Kirk Cousins in the top 10.
Wait, hold on.
Wait. You said Dak has like hella options, hella weapons, and Kirk Cousins doesn't?
They both do.
Exactly. So why not the one with more yards, more touchdowns, and a better rating?
Cowboys have a lot better line.
Interceptions.
They have a better offensive line, and they were much deeper offensively.
Vikings had terrible play calling last year, too.
What's up?
Vikings had terrible play calling last year, too.
Yeah, their play calling was ass.
So we're talking about a quarterback list, and now we're talking about play calling.
Hey, this is a QB episode. We can talk about whatever we want.
Also, Kirk Cousins had a higher average per attempt.
All right. Let's head to 9.
And
wait. Let me write down everybody's 10. Zach, what's your 10?
Kirk Cousins. And I just want to point this out. Dak only had 30 more yards rushing. So much for the athlete.
I think he said Dak was like a top 5 quarterback at some point last year.
Yeah, I know. That's why I put him down. He's at 12. He dropped 7 spots.
Sad.
4,500 yards, 37 and 10 is horrible.
4,500. 4,500. I don't think you know how to round, Trevor. How do you round, Trevor? Tell me how to round because I don't understand.
What do you mean? Is 4,500?
No, it's 4,400.
50 yards away from 4,500.
It's actually 51 yards away, which means you have to round down.
I'm not rounding down.
Use math.
Yeah.
Okay, 4,449 yards. 37 touchdowns and 10 is bad to you guys?
Stat pattern.
They also play in the NFC East, Trevor.
Dak Prescott is higher on my list than Justin Herbert.
Why?
That's crazy. That's just crazy.
Why is that crazy?
That's just crazy, dude.
Did he steal your girlfriend or something? Like, why do you hate him so much? Justin Herbert.
Absolutely not. He can't even make the playoffs. Why would he be talking to my girlfriend? I don't have a girlfriend.
Yeah, Trevor's single. He doesn't know what it's like to love.
Maybe he did. Maybe instead of making the fucking playoffs, he was talking to my ex-girlfriend. Maybe that's what happened.
For some reason, you seem to love Herbert, and then it's like suddenly turned into like your alternate.
He's overrated. He's a stat patter too. He threw the ball to Austin Eckler, his running back, 94 times. No fucking wonder he threw for 5,000 yards.
How many catches did Ezekiel Elliott have last year? I'm just curious.
I don't know, probably like 60.
Ewok.
50, 54? What?
Oh, 54 receptions. So he threw...
No, I'm guessing. I don't know.
54, let me see.
Is it really?
47.
The only reason Herbert was not in the playoffs was because he's the worst coach in the NFL.
Why?
The worst coach in the NFL who had no idea how to do any time management last year. I'd say the worst run defense in the NFL.
Yes, thank you. When you're missing an all-pro safety and several other
quarterbacks.
You're saying it. I thought. Wait, didn't Trevor? Didn't Trevor say we're talking about quarterbacks winning, not teams winning?
Trevor Kirkland once made this comment earlier today.
My name is Trevor Scott.
He said Mike Williams was a better receiver than T. Higgins.
I said he had better numbers.
Mike Williams is a fat guy that only has decent numbers because of Herbert.
Fat guy that
T. Higgins is a top 20 wide receiver. If he's on any other team, he'd be wide receiver 1.
Huh?
If T. Higgins was on the Chargers, he'd had 1,500 yards and 10 TDs last year.
Don't say that. Don't give me no theoretical bullshit. Tell me what happened.
What?
Justin Herbert missed the playoffs.
Is football a one-man sport? Is it a 53-man sport?
No, it's
LeBron-
not. But he didn't play. Like,
Did LeBron make the playoffs this year, bud?
who?
LeBron?
No way you're bringing that up right now.
I'll bring it up. It's a team sport. Justin
Okay.
Herbert can't play
He
defense.
didn't play enough winning football for me.
Trevor,
They
Trevor,
been tied
Trevor,
in the
Trevor,
last game of the season.
Trevor.
It would have been the playoffs.
Trevor. No, did you
By the way,
watch?
QBR was 94.
No,
Zach, I know
it-
you love that shit. 94.4.
It was 97.7. The QB rating was 97.7. Anyway,
You're
Trevor,
nerds.
did you watch the game against Las Vegas?
No,
the last
he doesn't
game of
watch
the year.
football.
Yes, I did.
You did. Okay, how many drops happened on that final drive from Justin Herbert?
Okay, we talking about one game?
No,
Like,
no, 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 no.
Jamar Chase
I'm
dropped,
saying,
like,
I'm saying,
25
we're
times.
talking about one of his worst quarterback rating games. Okay, that is affected by completion percentage. Correct? How
Sure,
many
which he did
drops
what,
on that final
66%?
drive? I will tell you how many drops.
I remember the Chiefs game.
It was like 9 fucking drops
No
on
way.
one drive.
No chance. No chance.
Yes.
Nine
When
drops
we get
on
to
one
Chiefs-
drive? No.
He had 4 drop touchdowns in the first
Right?
drive of the game.
How do you know?
Mike Fat-Ass Williams dropped 2 touchdowns.
Okay, but we could do that for literally
Wait,
any quarterback.
I see-
No,
I
no,
seem
no,
to
no, no,
remember-
no, no,
for
no.
any
I'm
quarterback.
I
talking.
remember you comparing him with Patrick Mahomes. Who'd you rather start a franchise with? But somehow he's worse than Dak Prescott.
Anyway, wait, stop. We
One
need to stop
spot word.
talking about this right now because we got to go on to number 9, or else this episode's never going to finish.
Probably.
Okay.
All right. I'll go first. This was a hard one. I kind of want to put him higher, kind of want to put him lower. Lamar Jackson. He's an MVP. He's great at what he does. He's different than any other QBs, so he's kind of hard to grade. He's a beast, but, I could have put him at like 7, but I don't know. I just put him at 9.
The highest I would have gone with Lamar is 8, but he's at 9. So I agree with Carrie.
Me and Zach going hard tonight together.
Yeah, let's go, Carrie.
Pause. What the fuck did you just say? Come on, Gary.
I said we going hard
Oh,
together.
yeah, me and Zach going hard tonight. Anyways,
Trevor, who you
Okay.
got?
my 7, 8, and 9 is my third tier. 3 guys who all 3 of them missed the playoffs.
Oh my
2 of
god.
them missed time.
There's no chance.
So number
There's no
9, I
chance.
got Russ. I got
Okay.
Russell Wilson at 9.
So we got Zach over here talking about QBR all the time. You just care about playoffs.
No, I don't. I care about playing
You
with
wanna-
influence winning.
Hey,
How much
Trevor,
do
was
influence
Dan
win?
Marino a good quarterback?
Dude, don't ask me about
Hey,
football.
No.
I
Tell me
think
if Dan
I'll-
Marino was a good quarterback. Was he a good
I see
quarterback?
No, I wasn't even a thought yet.
Was
I
he a
seem to
good
remember
quarterback?
someone
My
making.
grandparents were racist.
I seem to remember someone defending Lamar Jackson despite him not make the playoffs last year.
Oh yeah, I
So
remember
are
that
we
too.
say Lamar Jackson's not top 10 because he didn't make the playoffs?
Yeah.
I have multiple quarterbacks on my list that didn't make the playoffs.
Okay.
I'm talking about quarterbacks that influence winning, and he missed time. If he played the full season, they make the playoffs. They had to win one game out of their last 4. They put in Tyler Huntley, and they went 0-4. They win one game, they're in the playoffs. You don't think Lamar could have won one game? That was the hottest team in the NFL when they were healthy. And you know that.
I
You
don't
know that.
about
They're like
that.
7-2, 6-2.
I don't know about that,
Hello,
buddy.
Miami, he
The
couldn't come back.
hottest team in the NFL.
Yes,
See,
they were like
they
down.
6-2 before they started getting injuries.
Trevor, who you got at 9? Or this episode will end in 3
I
hours.
told you, Russell Wilson, 9.
Wait,
Zach's
hold
the
on,
only
hold
one that
on.
hasn't said 9.
I like that.
No,
like
I did
that.
say 9. I did say what 9 was.
Who'd you
Yes,
say again?
Lamar.
It was Lamar.
We both said
And
Lamar.
Gary? Those two said Lamar? Okay.
Yeah. All right, number 8. Trevor.
8, I have Lamar.
Okay. I'm
I
not
like-
mad at that.
Yeah,
He missed
that's
time.
fine.
If we played the full season, he'd probably be 7.
You think he's gonna have a big campaign this year, especially with losing Marquise Brown, or you think he'll be about the same?
I like those. What is that receiver's name? Last year,
Bateman? Bateman's good.
Bateman. Where's Rondale Moore? Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where what's his name? Hollywood, right? Yeah. I don't know. The receivers, it's not. They shouldn't spend a lot of money on the receiving core. Lamar's not going to fling the ball all over the field, and that's not what being a quarterback means to me. I got him at 8.
All right.
Got Matt Stafford, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson. Okay. Although he's probably my favorite player in the NFL.
Zach, you got at 8.
At 8, I have Matthew Stafford, and here's why.
We're pretty comparable right now.
Yeah. So I think Matthew Stafford is a good quarterback, not a great quarterback. I don't think they win the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, but I do think that he was good enough to get that team over the top because they did have a very good roster. I want to say that without a shadow of a doubt. They had a very good roster, obviously. However, they had a comparable roster several years ago with Jared Goff, and I was not as impressed with Jared Goff's play as I was with Matthew Stafford's play. And it's not like when adding Von Miller. It's not like you're adding Von Miller from 4 years ago. You're not adding 2016 Von Miller to this team. You're adding 2021 Von Miller to this team. He was not nearly as dominant as he used to be. So I want to say that he is a good quarterback, not a great quarterback, and that's why he's at 8.
I think there's probably 10 or 12 quarterbacks that could have won a Super Bowl with that Rams team.
Yeah, I agree.
That team was just so talented that
it was very talented. Yeah, no, for sure. I think 13 quarterbacks could have won a championship with that team.
Who do you have at 14?
Carson Wentz.
Oh, burn!
All right, I got Russ at 8. I think he's gonna have a bigger year this year. I think he will bounce back.
It'd be hard not to have a bigger year, honestly.
He didn't have a bad year, right?
He wasn't as bad as people say. He was in that 12-10 range, but he wasn't the Russ we've known.
I will say
103 rating.
I mean,
25 touchdowns.
If this was last year, everybody had Russ in their top 5. You know.
No, yeah, for sure. I did say at the beginning of the pod, I had 8 to 12, is pretty close. So, and he was at 11. So,
number 7. I'll start with 7s. Pretty similar to Zach. I got Stafford. He's good, not great. I don't really like him that much, but he won a Super Bowl, so I kind of have to put him there. Zach, who you got at 7?
At 7, I have.
Wait, you said who, Corey?
I said Stafford.
Okay.
I have a guy that made the playoffs because that's what's important to
7?
Trevor. I have a guy that made the playoffs at 7, and that's Derek Carr because he made the playoffs. No, I really like Derek Carr. I think that he's been on a really bad team for a long time, and I think that bringing Devontae Adams over there is going to help him a bunch.
Is 7 based on last year or based with Adams?
A little bit of both. I thought that he played really well with, honestly, the probably not the worst situation, but one of the worst situations in football going on with Henry Ruggs getting, arrested for traveling at high speeds and then murdering a woman, and then and a dog. But and then it turned out that Hunter Renfrow had to play as a number 2 receiver, which he shouldn't.
Renfrow's the number 1 wide receiver. If he was of a different skin color, people wouldn't hate him.
I don't. What? No, first off, I don't hate Hunter Renfrow. I just think he is better used as an outlet pass instead of a primary option.
Dude, I'm very excited to see him, Adams, and Waller this year.
Me too. That's why he's at number 7.
I can't wait for football.
Holy shit, guys!
What?
We're very agreeing.
7th best quarterback in the NFL is Matt Stafford.
Honestly,
7th best quarterback in the NFL is Derek Carr.
Yeah. Why?
Honestly, for me, after the top 5, they're all arguable. 6 through 12, they're all interchangeable for me until we get to next year.
Yeah.
Trevor, who you got?
What number are we at?
7.
Like I said, the 7, 8, 9, all 3 interchangeable. 7, we got the most overrated quarterback in the NFL, Justin Herbert.
Oh my God.
Still, anywhere from 7 to 9. He played the full season, so I put him over Lamar and Russ. He had the best numbers, but he's not better than anybody in my top 6.
You gave him Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd.
Don't give me ifs.
Because it's true.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. It's so true. You give him that defense healthy, and you give him all those fucking weapons. Oh my god.
Chargers are gonna be good. Chargers can be scary good this year. Got a great defense.
Wait, hold on. Carrie. Let me put a caveat in there. If they stay healthy, Chargers are scary good this year.
Yeah.
Because they should have been scary good. Huh?
You didn't give Lamar a break. That whole team was injured.
Mark my words.
I gave him 9th. He was outside my top 10 last year.
By 2023 or 2024, whenever the Rodgers Brady's are gone, Justin Herbert will be the best quarterback in the NFL.
What are we talking about right now?
Best quarterback in the NFL.
2024? Are you kidding me?
We're all gonna be dead by then.
He might have the best numbers this season. Honestly, if they stay healthy, that's.
Mahomes is on the downswing. Rodgers and Brady are gone soon. Josh Allen is really only.
You don't know Mahomes is on the downswing.
First off, he lost his best receiver. He lost his best receiver, and one of 2 weapons on that fucking team. Yes, Mahomes is on the downswing.
Travis Kelce's gonna get quadruple coupled all season long.
Yep.
Who else can he throw to?
He's gonna throw to that guy from Pittsburgh that makes TikToks.
Mr. TikTok man.
Yeah.
Listen, man. Justin Herbert, 97 QBR. He was tied for 2nd in the NFL in interceptions.
He didn't throw the ball to carry his team all season long.
Carried his team?
Yes! He absolutely carried his team!
Jameis Winston on that team. He's throwing 40 picks.
He carried his team to missing the playoffs, and y'all are gassing him.
What other QB would be even decent on? You put any other QB on that team, that team's like 3-13.
Yeah.
No! Hell
yes!
No!
Yes.
You put Justin Herbert on the
fucking
You put Justin Herbert on the Rams. That team is insane.
You can't.
15-2 at least.
No, that's a 16-0 roster. Justin Herbert on the Rams is a 16-0 roster.
Justin Herbert will be the best quarterback in the NFL in the next 2 years.
Over half of his interceptions came in the second half, and you want to blame his fucking defense. This guy's a
Yes! Thank you, Trevor! You just played yourself! You just played yourself! You said half his interceptions came in the second half, and you blame his defense. Yes! Because that's when you throw interceptions from behind. Because you have to push the ball downfield. You played yourself! You played yourself! You played yourself! Get out of here! You played yourself! You played yourself!
When he's ahead, what are his stats then when he's behind?
Trevor, was there a reason?
You don't know.
Listen, was there a reason Jameis Winston didn't throw interceptions?
Because what the fuck are we talking about, Jameis Winston?
He had a great defense, and he always had the lead, and he didn't have to throw the ball.
Yes.
Justin Herbert was always down. He had to throw it. Obviously, he's going to throw more interceptions.
So you're gassing second most interceptions in the NFL.
Oh my God.
Who in the first?
You're excusing it.
How many did Tom Brady throw last year?
Tom Brady, by the way, his run defense was bad. His passing defense, the Chargers' passing defense was top half of the NFL. The run defense was
Wait, what? You say top half of the NFL? What ranking?
How many picks did Tom Brady throw last year, bud?
What ranking? What ranking against?
A little more than that.
And their rushing defense was bad. The running backs in that division are Josh Jacobs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Melvin Gordon. Those are the guys he's not outplaying.
Wait, what?
Is he playing? What?
Is he playing defense against those guys? What the fuck are you talking about? You're talking about defense and using it as a reason to shit on a quarterback.
Edwards-Helaire.
Those are the guys beating him. Those are the guys that are.
It's not his fault. His defense sucks. Like, what?
God.
The guy's an overrated stat pattern. Dumps it off to a
God.
running back 94 times in a season, but when Dak does it, he's ugh. Dak is number 6.
I never said Dak did that. I said he.
But y'all called him a stat pattern.
I don't know why you.
I did not call him a stat pattern. I said he was disappointing. I said
Dak
he was
is a stat
disappointing
pattern.
when he
Always
needed to
been.
win.
If Dak is a stat pattern, so is Justin Herbert.
No, that's
No.
fucking crazy.
Yes.
That's
No.
fucking
Dak's
crazy.
defense sucked. They were getting fucking 35 hung on him every week. And when Dak went down, that offense looked like the Chicago Bears.
Cowboys would be up 40-10, and they'd still be throwing in the whole game. Because Zeke sucks.
What?
You're a disappointment to Beerly.
Oh my god.
You're a disappointment.
All right.
Justin Herbert is the 7th best quarterback in the NFL, and Dak Prescott is
All right,
6th.
number 6.
104 quarterback rating, Dak Prescott, by the way.
Oh, we going off
Number
QBR
6.
rating, are we?
Number 6.
I
Number
hate. I don't
6.
even like this one at 6. He's so overrated, but I put Joe Burrow. He's carried by Chase. He's a good, not great quarterback. He did nothing in the playoffs to impress me.
You're fucking blind.
He's bleh. He
I
fine.
have Joe Burrow at 6.
See, Zach, we're doing great today, bud.
Yeah.
Crazy. I have him at 5, so I mean, like this, it's only one spot off.
He's
But
so
how you
bland.
did nothing, bro. Did you watch the games?
He was
Yes.
in the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow
Trevor,
is
you're
just-
the only one here that doesn't watch football. I don't know
I
why
watch
you
football.
keep saying
I don't do
that.
shit on Sunday. I
Yeah,
sit around, I eat sushi, and I watch football. That's all I do on Sunday. I don't even talk to girls on Sunday.
I'd be that. Yeah.
I don't think
That's a
that's
little
true.
much.
He's a
That's a
fucking
little
liar.
much.
We caught him in a lie, Carrie.
Joe Burrow was running for his life, making plays, influencing the game towards winning. Third down, that guy was going off. He completed over 70% of his passes last year. Justin Herbert didn't do that.
How many?
And they went to the fucking
Justin Herbert out of a top 5 receiver in the
Justin Herbert didn't
NFL?
even make the playoffs.
If you put
Joe Burrow
Justin Herbert and Jamar Chase
my
together, oh my
God.
goodness. That's 2,000 yards right there. 2,000 yards.
What?
Jamar Chase and Justin Herbert, 2,000 yards right there.
We'll never know.
Sadly.
If you're going to base all your arguments off of theoreticals...
Wait. Trevor, I have a question. I have a serious question, and I'm interested in your answer, okay?
I need a towel. I'm sweating. Do you want me to answer it rapidly, or do you want me to think about it?
Okay. Who had a better roster, Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert?
I mean, it depends on the
Wait.
position.
Hold on. Who had a better roster?
Like,
Overall.
Offense?
Overall.
It's very comparable, but it's the Bengals.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about like what is it? What the fuck did you just said? What the fuck does a defense have to do with the quarterback? Right?
Oh well, what? No. You said no. Wait, hold on, Carrie. Shut up. Let me say this. You said that making the playoffs was important, right? How many more games did the Bengals win in the regular season? How many
I
more?
don't know. 1, 2.
One more game. They won one more game.
You know every record to every team, Gary.
Yeah.
They won one more game, and Joe Burrow had a much better roster than Justin Herbert. So for you to put Joe Burrow miles ahead of Justin Herbert is just insane.
2 spots ahead.
Trevor.
You said Joe. Oh my God, I can't fucking stand this motherfucker.
Who's the better defense, the Bengals or the Chargers? As of last year.
The Bengals.
Who's the better coach, the Bengals or the Chargers?
I don't fucking the Bengals. I don't know.
Bengals. Who's the better receiving core, the Chargers or the Bengals?
Barely the Bengals.
Who's the better tight end? Bengals. Who's the better running back? Chargers. That's the only advantage.
And line. Joe Burrow is running for his fucking life every play.
And honestly,
that is the most important part of a football team is the line.
And honestly, Austin Eckler and Joe Mixon are very close.
No, they're not. You cannot throw the ball to
are.
Joe Mixon 94 times.
Yes, you could.
No, you can't.
Very good pass catcher.
It's like 40 receptions a year. You cannot throw him the ball 94 times.
Did you just get flamed on TikTok for starting Austin Eckler over Joe Mixon?
I was reaching, all right?
Yeah.
I was baiting.
Got his ass!
Justin Herbert is better, and it's not even
Mixon on the TikTok, and I stand by that.
Who had more points per game last year? Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow? Who had more points per game last year?
Neither one of them had points per game. That's a team stat.
Okay, which team had scored more points last year?
The Bengals. The Bengals were a better team than the Chargers.
Wait, no. Hold on. Who scored more points?
Probably the Bengals.
No, they didn't. The Chargers scored more points. Okay.
Okay.
So if we're comparing offense to offense, which offense did better with a worse roster? Which offense did better? With a worse roster, which offense did better?
Little Trevi can't handle the truth.
Okay, so then they have the better offense, right?
No, you just said that the Bengals had a better roster.
Use that in a quarterback debate.
Oh my! We got his ass. His ass is got.
Just give up, Trevor.
His ass is got. His ass is got.
You're talking about team scoring, or we're talking about a quarterback.
Let's talk about touchdown to interception ratio, Trevor. Let's talk about touchdown to interception ratio. Let's talk about touchdown to interception ratio. 34 and 14 for Joe Burrow. 38 and 15. What's the better touchdown to interception ratio?
I don't care about
yes!
that. I care about
no, you fucking do because you mentioned interceptions, you fucking moron. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Influences the game towards a loss, which is why they didn't make the playoffs.
This fucking guy.
They didn't make the playoffs because their coach didn't agree to tie at the end.
So one game decides the playoffs.
You didn't watch football and see all the dumb decisions they made all season.
Okay, what if they won every game before that? Would that one decision count? Oh, he didn't fucking want to tie. Now we're missing the playoffs. No.
The amount of losses you can blame on Justin
and make
Herbert,
my team win the game.
The amount of losses you could blame on Justin Herbert last year. All right, we need to head to our top 5 because we spent like 45 minutes on Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
And I could keep going.
All right, I got Justin Herbert at 5.
I agree, Kerry.
That's what y'all got man crushes on him. Y'all got man crushes on him.
Top 5 quarterback.
Yep. It's going to be top 1 soon.
Yep.
Trevor, who you got?
If Lamar and Russ played the full season, Justin Herbert could be sitting at 9 right now. Number 5, I have Joe Burrow. 108 quarterback rating. That is 11 points better than Justin Herbert.
Jamar Chase. Let's talk
about touchdown to interception ratio. Let's talk about touchdown to interception ratio.
Why? Influence the game towards winning. Kerry even said some interceptions don't count.
Oh, some interceptions don't count. So, wait, do all the touchdowns count?
No, I said Kerry said that. I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure. Because it sounded like you were trying to make a point, and Joe Burrow threw 1 less interception and 4 less touchdowns. So.
And he had Jamar
Chase T. Higgins.
Okay, exactly. But y'all want to bring up drops when it comes to Justin Herbert? Jamar Chase had like 25 drops this year.
And he had how many touchdowns? How many yards?
Okay, why?
After the catch.
Did somebody hand him? Did the ball snap to him and he just run? Or did somebody have to throw him the ball?
Let's look at his yards after the catch this year.
Okay, I know what you're thinking of that play against the Ravens.
I'm looking at every single play this year from Jamar Chase.
Okay, we could do it, and we could talk about it.
All right.
I will die on this fucking hill.
Wait. Head-to-head, who won? Head-to-head, who won, Trevor?
Oh, one game?
No. Wait. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when the 2 quarterbacks play each other. Who's better?
Yes, they're not playing each other.
They're not playing each other.
And Herbert's playing the Bengals.
So who has a better defense? You just agreed. The Bengals had a better defense. So why did Joe Burrow end up with a 70 QBR and Justin Herbert end up with a 118 QBR?
I have an answer.
Yeah.
My answer is the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Buffalo Bills. That's my answer.
Okay.
All right. Let's head to our top 4 because our top 4 should be pretty agreeable, I'd say.
Yeah, probably.
I got Josh Allen at 4, but I don't hate putting him at 3 either.
You guys think he's a top 5 player in the league? Like just player?
Yes.
I say yeah.
If we're saying player, then yeah.
Aaron Donald, Derrick Henry, guys like that.
Because QB's just
so high. What he does for that team is just so much more than just playing quarterback. In my opinion.
I wouldn't put him on my top 5, but I put him on my top 10.
Who?
Allen. In like top 10 players.
What? Oh, I was like, Kerry, we're at like 4 right now. I have Mahomes, just because I think he's going to fall off a little bit. And like I said, he's never winning another Super Bowl again in Kansas City. But
honestly, I could put Mahomes at 4 and Swift Allen at 3. I feel like it's pretty.
It's time for that Josh Allen revenge tour. It's fucking time.
Zach?
I got Tom Brady at 4.
Shut up.
I got Tom Brady at 4.
Like that.
Because if we're talking about next season, Tom Brady's got to go at 4. I don't see how you could put any of the top 3 guys up.
Don't you ever doubt the GOAT again.
Huh?
Just don't do it.
Wait,
don't
what?
doubt the GOAT like that.
First off, he's not the GOAT. I'm just going to put that out there.
Who is
not the GOAT. No, Peyton Manning's not the GOAT.
I hate Herbert at 5 more than I hate Brady at 4.
Byron Leftwich?
Why would Byron Leftwich be the GOAT?
Hey, Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston might be.
No.
Could be.
No, he's not.
All right, number 3. I got Mahomes.
Zach, is Joe Burrow not in your top 10?
No, I put him at 6.
You just don't listen, Trevor.
Oh, after Carr, between Carr and Herbert?
Yeah.
What about you, Kerry? Where was Burrow? Between Stafford and Herbert?
Same thing as that.
Yeah, it was same thing as me. Me and Kerry are on the same page. We actually watch football.
With the exception of Brady, we agreed on pretty much everything.
Who's your 4, Kerry?
He already said Josh Allen.
I just said my 3 is Patrick Mahomes.
My 3 is Josh Allen.
Fair. Zach?
I'm actually switching mine on the spot, and I'm going to put Patrick Mahomes at 3 for next season.
Fair enough.
Do you guys think over down here?
Yeah, it's going to be down here for sure.
Even last year,
I'm not going to go that far, but
I mean, it was down here last year for him anyway. So I think without Tyreek Hill,
I think he's reached his peak. I don't think he's going to get better than what he was. Obviously, I think he's going to be one of the best in the NFL, but I don't think he's going to get to the insane level he was.
Yeah.
So it's not crazy to say he'll never win another Super Bowl in KC?
I don't think I agree with you on that one.
Motherfuckers was hating on me for that when I said that.
I agree with you on that one.
All right.
Travis Kelce's getting up there too.
Yeah.
You know he's the same age. He's the same age as Gronk.
Kerry, you're number 2.
You guys should have the same one at 2.
I got Tommy.
I got Tom.
Yeah, I thought that would be what it would be.
You got Allen?
I got Allen. I switched.
And we all have Rodgers at 1.
We're boring at 1.
Yeah, we got the GOAT at 1. No.
Bro, 48-5 in 2020 and then 37-4 last year. We got to see what he does without Devontae, though.
Yeah, it should be interesting. He's got one of the worst wide
receiver in the NFL.
One of the worst wide receiving cores in the NFL this year.
I mean, without Devontae, he did already have that. So
he's got Randall Cobb.
If this was 6 years ago, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Hey, Sammy Watkins, you get him from KFC, he could turn into Devontae Adams.
Bro, he was so good at Clemson.
Yeah,
I wish he would have stayed in shape.
Yeah.
He can dream. Sadly, that brings us to an end of our QB rankings.
Wow.
What do we got now? Rapid fire?
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire!
After long QB rankings, you ready for some rapid fire?
I was born ready for some rapid fire.
True or false, Mac Jones will disappoint in 2022? False.
True, bro.
Wait, what would you consider disappoint?
He's going to be worse than
in my ranking, I have him down. What would you consider disappointing?
Let's say either not get better from last year or stay the same.
Because I have him at 22. So.
Do you think he'll be better QB next year or worse or the same?
I think he'll be the same. I think he'll be incredibly uninteresting.
He's not going to be a Pro Bowler next year unless people don't want to go or there's injuries, in my opinion. So worst year for me.
This duo will have how many touchdowns next season? Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford. I'm going to say 12.
I would say 14.
I was going to say 14, Trevor.
It's rapid, bro. You got to be more rapid than that,
Hey, we already went over this one tonight, and 2 of us agree. True or false, Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback.
True.
Top 5 overrated, sure.
All right. This one will do for this one will be less than rapid fire. We'll spend a couple minutes on this one. Who is the best college QB here? Give me your top. Give me your top three. So we got Deshaun Watson, Vince Young, Marcus Mariota, Baker Mayfield, Trevor Lawrence, Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, Joe Burrow. You can go career, 1 year, whatever you want.
I'm going Tebow, Vince Young, and then I would love to put Burrow there if he played at least one more year.
That one season was insane. Like,
who else is on there?
Same thing with Cam. Like, Watson.
Yeah, Burrow went undefeated, won a Natty and a Heisman. So I'll put Burrow at 3, even though he only played 1 year.
I feel like Tebow's got it. But Watson didn't win a Heisman, though. Or did he?
Yeah, he did.
No.
Wait,
he did?
Didn't he? I thought he did.
Or he didn't
win a championship.
Those Alabama running backs were winning it.
Cam's got to be up there just because of 1 year, but because it's just 1 year, it's hard to put him there.
Yeah, he won the Heisman Trophy in 2016. Oh, no.
He just didn't win the championship.
I don't think Watson won a Heisman, but he beat Alabama. He was carried by 100.
Who's your top three?
My top three was because you asked this earlier in the group chat. I went back to look. It was Cam Newton because I remember watching Cam Newton and I remember watching him and I was like, fuck, this guy is like just better than everybody else that he's playing with. Just like so much better. And I was just like, this might be the best college football player I've ever seen. So I remember that specifically. So I had Cam at 1, Vince at 2 because he was insane as well. And then I had Deshaun Watson at 3 because I remember watching, because obviously I'm a Miami fan, so I got to see a lot of Deshaun Watson because of ACC football. He didn't miss. He just did not miss. And he had legs and he could do everything. So.
Who should start for the Falcons this season? Marcus Mariota or Desmond?
Did you know Felipe Franks is a receiver now?
Yeah, I saw that.
Dude, shut up. Mariota.
I'm gonna say Ritter. What's the point? We know what we're gonna get. We know what we're gonna get from Mariota.
I'm gonna say Mariota. Start Mariota.
Who is better, John Elway or Dan Marino? I'm thinking Dan.
Danny. Wait, no. Trevor has to pick John Elway because John Elway won Super Bowl.
Dan did not.
And Dan Marino did not. So
that's true. I don't care about
two. He won 2
when it comes to a quarterback.
Yeah, he won 2. Dan Marino didn't win a Super Bowl, so he's a worse quarterback apparently. According to Trevor.
I don't care about team statistics when it comes to quarterbacks. When it comes to the players, I do not.
True or false?
Never mind.
Jamar Chase is a top 5 wide receiver already. I'm gonna say true. I put him at like 5.
That's close.
I can't. Close. Not yet.
I'm gonna say yes.
I gotta say false for now, but he's probably like 6 or 7.
He's got elite talent, and his route running's exceptional. His hands got better throughout the year. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say yeah, top 5.
All right. Could you finish a beer faster than any of these guys? David Bakhtiari, Gardner Minshew, Gronk, or Taylor Lewin?
Yep.
All of them?
Yep.
Zach showing it on the air.
I finished really fast.
Done.
Not the
Yeah.
All right. Describe Daniel Jones as a QB in one word.
Smash.
Okay.
My word is
All right.
Carrie, what's your word?
I said okay. Pick one in their prime. Arian Foster, Marshawn Lynch, Matt Forte, DeMarco Murray.
Murray led the league in rushing.
I'm taking Arian Foster.
Arian Foster, though. He's like one of my favorite running backs ever.
Wait, what were the 4 again?
Arian Foster, Marshawn Lynch, Matt Forte, DeMarco Murray.
I'm gonna go Marshawn.
The house, dude.
Give me the Skittles.
True or false? Jameis Winston is underrated. I'm gonna say true. I'm gonna say true. He's overhated on.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say false. We only saw 6 games, dog. Ask me again in 6 months.
Zach?
I'm gonna say false as well because a lot of people had him around like 15, 16, and I have him at 25. So
We'll have a better 2022 season. Derek Carr or Kirk Cousins? I got Carr.
Carr. You should say, like, you could even do the same thing, like, with their wide receiver ones. Who would you rather have this year in fantasy? Justin Jefferson or Devontae Adams?
Yeah. Fuck. God, that's tough. Those are 2 of my guys.
I know. Poor Zach.
You know what?
Drop it, Zach.
You know what? You know what? Because no one's rooting for Kirk Cousins, I'll root for Kirk Cousins.
Fair. Start 1, bench 1, cut 1. Najee Harris, Joe Mixon, Austin Eckler. I'm starting Harris, benching Mixon, cutting Eckler.
I'm not telling you. Just go watch my TikTok at Beerly Sports on TikTok.
Fair
I
enough.
did this on TikTok.
I'm starting Mixon, benching Eckler, cutting Najee.
True or false? Randy Moss better than Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
It's true.
I'm gonna say false. I think Calvin was a better player on a worse team.
Who's one NFL player that you wish their career didn't end so shortly?
Calvin.
Tim Tebow.
No, Luke Kuechly.
Sean Watson.
Wait, yeah, Luke Kuechly.
Andrew Luck.
Who was that gay guy?
Which one?
Hernandez.
No, he wasn't gay. That was fake, bro. That guy lied his ass off in that documentary, bro.
Oh my god.
I'll say Aaron Hernandez, though. He was fly, bro. Aaron Hernandez.
Sean Taylor, honorable mention.
Oh, pussy. What? Oh, Percy Harvin.
Who's the best wide receiver here? Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb. I'm taking Terry.
Terry, dog.
Scary Terry.
Those are good, 4 good receivers, though.
What is the worst missed kick in NFL history?
Oh god.
Bro,
Billy
what's his name?
Cundiff. Billy Cundiff missed versus the Patriots.
Ray Rice, bro.
No. Who is that guy that used to play for Minnesota?
Oh, Blair?
Blair Walsh. Fuck. That
There's
was
the Bill-
unbelievable.
There's the Bills ones, too, that lost in the Super Bowl.
Cody Parkey.
No, Blair Walsh just was worse because that
It was like
team.
It was like 25 yards or something.
Blair
Bro,
Walsh.
They had people in the streets of Chicago kicking field goals on ice to show how easy it was to Cody Parkey. Embarrassing, bro.
Well,
Shout out
to be fair to Cody Parkey, it's not like he just like shanked it and like missed it completely. He hit like the uprights, he hit the uprights like 4 times in 3 kicks.
Ruined
Double
Mitch's
dingling.
career. All right, last 2 questions. Start 1, bench 1, cut 1. Bosa brothers, Max Crosby.
One of the Bosas are racist, so cut them.
I'm starting Joey, benching Max, and cutting Nick because he's always hurt.
I completely agree with that assessment, Kerry.
I like that. Max Crosby's very underrated.
Yep.
You're picking Max Crosby over a Bosa?
Max Crosby's really good. Bosa's always hurt. That's my problem with him.
Yeah.
All right. Zach kind of answered this earlier when he said Sam Darnold. Who is the worst starting QB in the NFL heading into this season?
Sam Darnold.
I would say Geno Smith if he starts. It's very close between Darnold and Luck for me.
Yeah, whoever starts for the Seahawks besides Baker.
I put Darnold. I feel like Lock's better than Darnold.
I agree.
They're
I like
both
Drew Lock. I hope Drew Lock starts and just goes fucking off.
That'd be fun. I mean, he has DK Metcalf and Baldwin.
Yeah.
Lockett. What about Lockett?
Lockett.
Lockett's better than all those. Doug Baldwin? Is that what you just said? Well,
Tyler Lockett and Doug Baldwin are basically the same person. Am I wrong?
no, they're not. Tyler Lockett's a virgin. I can tell you, Doug Baldwin is not a virgin.
For sure.
Hacks.
Oh my god.
I still can't walk straight. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
No, he's really a virgin. He has a book on it. Yeah, look at
I
him.
knew that. All right, that's it for Rapid Fire this week.
All right. Well, that's all we have for the Beerly Football Podcast tonight. Is there anything you guys want to plug before we head off?
Yeah, I do. Beerly Hoops, tap in with us, basketball fans, college basketball, NBA basketball. I know the finals just ended, but we have got a lot of fun stuff for the NBA offseason, and it's sure to be a good one. So tap in with us on Twitter at Beerly Hoops, weekly podcast there. That's all I got. It's the year of beer.
Also, if you want to check in, we did a live react to the NBA draft. I joined Trevor and Dort, and we had a good time. So you can check that out on YouTube. Jack? Huh?
You ate some chicken.
No, I had tofu.
Hell yeah.
I'm vegan, remember?
Oh, respect.
Follow us on Twitter at Beerly Baseball.
Fuck.
Over here, Zach.
I died. Hold on.
For baseball content. Follow us on.
And by the way, always remember, Justin Herbert is not top 5.
Shut the fuck up. You need to stop.
Follow us on Twitter at Beerly Football for football content. Get our questions before we do them every week on Rapid Fire.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter
Shout
at
out
Beerly.
to Kyrie Irving, too.
Exactly. Follow us on Twitter at Beerly Hockey. Check out our hockey podcast. You know, finals just ended. Get ready for the off season with Phil and Nate. Check it out. And that's it for me, sadly. Zach, you got anything?
All right, check out beerlysports.com if you want to see any articles on any of the latest stuff in sporting news. Brought to you by Beerly Sports. I want to give a quick shout out because I'm not fucking around when I say that this beer is very, very good. And that is
What's it called again?
It's Belhaven Brewery's Scottish Ale.
Where'd you get it?
It's just some package store. Which those of you who don't know what a package store is, which you should, is just a beer and liquor store. But
what do you guys think about Roe vs. Wade getting overturned? I'm just kidding.
Shut the fuck up.
Right.
You can also follow me, my personal account at the Beerly Boss on Twitter. I tend to troll around on there for a little bit every now and again. And you can also follow me on TikTok at SportsGuyZach.
Follow
this
follow
week.
us on TikTok too.
Oh yeah,
Beerly
follow us on TikTok at Beerly Sports.
Follow our main Twitter page at Beerly Sports for all Beerly content.
And this week I will be posting a TikTok showing you guys how to make a Beerly dog and how to do it right.
A beer dog or a Beerly dog?
A
It's a
Beerly
beer
dog.
Beerly dog.
If it's a beer dog, it's a Beerly dog.
That's fucking facts. I feel like no one is still listening.
All right, well, we will see you guys next episode. Wait, is this our last episode of the off season before we start?
Shit, yeah. Weekly episode. Fuck! I meant to talk about this at the beginning. Oh well. Weekly episodes coming back July 19th, where we're gonna give you everything you need to know right before football comes back. Fantasy, everything you need. We're gonna give you our predictions on there, but even if you don't like our predictions, we're gonna have fucking facts and fucking stats. So everybody wants to win fantasy. We should be your home for fantasy. We'll give you everything you need to know. July 19th, our top 20, 25 fantasy. No, it's running backs. We're doing running backs first. Those are most important. So definitely tune in for that. We'll be doing fantasy weekly. Tap it.
Weekly on Beerly Sports in the regular season. That would be technically it's Beerly Sports season 2 or Beerly Football season 2. This is the off season, so we're going into our second year of Beerly Football. I can't wait for it. I'm excited to do it with you guys, Trevor and Carrie. And I also hate both of you. And we will see you guys on July 19th.